They're trying to tell us something. They have figured out the formula for chaos.
When the clock strikes 8:30, babe, time to head for Chris's house.
Hey.
Will the song make it to the next round?
Oh no.
Pot of Thunder. Let's pot tonight. Come on, baby, let's pot tonight.
Ooh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Put your hands together for the band. They're hot tonight. Duck Gibbs and the Emerald Live Band bringing us in each and every week here on Pot of Thunder, the recognized symbol of excellence in rock and roll podcasting. Brought to you by patreon.com/Pot of Thunder. Check it out. There's something for everybody at every level. You're going to love it. So many extras. Can't recommend it enough.
Are there a lot of extras?
So many extras.
So many. All the extras.
The whole thing is just extra. As the kids say nowadays.
Yeah. Very.
Andy,
very
before we start, may I be the first to say, maybe not the last, that your presence here today shimmers with a delicate brilliance that mirrors the kaleidoscopic spirit of the era.
Wow. Thank you, Nick.
You're
That's
welcome.
very poetic.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that today.
Yeah, got it from the lawn care people.
That's right. Next,
the post about Sid Barrett
posted
by Lawn Care Service.
Yeah, you sent that, and I didn't want to piss you off, but I just completely didn't. I missed that. I had flashbacks to the Magic Touch episode where I didn't get one of your jokes. I didn't want you to shut down, but I was like, what is this? What? They just posted that at random?
Your guess is as good as mine.
I think
not anything I was even following. It just came up, and I'm like, oh, here's, some Sid Barrett hyperbole.
From a lawn care.
So, yeah, it would make perfect sense if it was from some rock Facebook group or whatever, but the fact that it's some local lawn care service trying to get people to add their page and sign up for grass cuttings or whatever,
and that it's about nauseating the way that they're fawning over him.
Do we ever need to hear about Sid Barrett again in our lives?
No, we don't need to.
Let's let history forget Sid Barrett.
Well, he should have been. He should have never been remembered into the 70s.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Enough. We don't need it anymore.
And that's what's so baffling about the popularity of Pink Floyd. Their entire early career was just Roger Waters whining about Sid Barrett. How does that latch on to millions of people? Who gives a shit about that?
Yeah. Maybe when there was nothing else going on, you check it out. But we've had a lot of time and had a lot of new things come out that can take up our time, fill our schedule, entertain us in one way or another. We don't need it anymore.
No, we never need it.
Let's let history forget Pink Floyd. What do you say, guys? Starting today.
100%.
We're done with it.
That. Enough.
We don't have the bandwidth in our society.
Enough with the T-shirts. Enough with the fucking worshipping of the dark side of the moon. It's over. It's 50 years old.
Yeah.
It's done.
Can we like something new, please? Let's move on.
How about today's song?
Well, we'll find out.
We'll like that one.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know me, but let's find out exactly who I am.
He got the heart, until he got there and the doors were shut. No double hamming, no personal pizza jamming. No, this ain't good. His fists, they are a-slamming. The doors are shut at Pizza Hut.
What a load of shit. I mean, I like your song, but
the whole development,
unbelievable development.
So what lateral move have you made in the wake of this tragedy?
Well, none really, because there's nothing else with the dining room. I like Domino's. I'll eat whatever. I don't care. I'm not that picky. Domino's has a similar pan crust pizza to the Pizza Hut pan crust, if that's what you're going for.
But the dining room element, I forgot about that.
I think a huge portion of the listeners are wondering what happened.
Well, okay, so in our area of northwest Indiana, and I believe south side of Chicago, suburbs, there's, was it 12 Pizza Huts? Maybe it was more.
I think it was more closer to 15.
Closer to 15.
Yeah.
All owned by some restaurant group based out of Texas. that restaurant group, I think this is correct. If I'm wrong, it's barely wrong, but it's close enough. That restaurant group failed to pay the franchise fees to Pizza Hut. So all Pizza Hut restaurants in our area closed their doors. Owned by this group, which is all of them.
Right.
Yeah.
No warning whatsoever.
No. I mean, maybe they got warnings, but no warnings to,
Nothing to the
customers.
public, yeah.
Or to employees, apparently.
Right.
Oof.
And that seems to be the case, is how it goes.
Man.
Yeah. It's devastating. Just, hey, you don't have a job anymore. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Neither does anyone else.
Devastating. And I was thinking about this. I'm going to romanticize this Pizza Hut a little bit. But in the course of my life, aside from some friends' houses, like here, growing up, is there a place that I've laughed more than the Munster Pizza Hut? It's got to be top 10.
Maybe not.
Oh, top 10, sure.
Yeah. So I was just thinking, man, that's part of my life.
Is that the one that we played White Christmas in the middle of summer?
Probably.
The Michael Bolton one, as loudly as possible.
That sounds right. We would always try to pick the worst song.
Their fault for having it on the jukebox.
There you
I
go.
would say, in the middle of summer.
I'm Too Sexy in Spanish was a big one. We play multiple times
Always
in a row. Soy. I don't even remember the rest of it.
That's all you need.
But yeah, that's the I'm Too Sexy first word.
Yeah, that's too bad. Yeah, that's that is true. There've been parodies. This is 3, right? This is the Hut trilogy, I believe.
Yeah.
This is the part 3 of this particular song. And yeah, a lot of fun's been poked at it, but I'll tell you what, when we were kids, if we were told we were going to that Pizza Hut,
we were doing backflips.
Huge deal.
Yeah, it was a big deal back then.
Huge deal for us.
Yeah. It was a different time, as we find ourselves saying every week, but it was, especially, I think just kids maybe still feel that way, but also the restaurant put some effort into having an entertaining experience.
I'm
the arcade games and stuff, things to do, jukebox. It was clean.
Yeah, well, none of those things still apply.
No, unfortunately.
So you have to see the writing on the wall, and you have to, as a parent, you can't subject your kids to that nonsense, which the decision's been made for you.
Yeah, it was made for me.
So, I mean, is this a delayed COVID casualty?
Maybe. I mean, maybe that's the reason why they weren't paying the franchise fees.
Yeah, I mean, it really went into the toilet during COVID.
Yeah.
You know what upset me? The one closest to me, it never. They would have the option if you ordered online for the curbside.
Yep.
They wouldn't bring.
They just didn't do it.
They just didn't do it. You'd be sitting there and then you'd be like, all right, I guess I got to go in. Like, oh, here's your pizza. They would not bring it out.
Yeah, I think
never happened.
I think that happened to me once or twice at different places, and it's like, I'm just never doing this again.
You're starting to get nervous.
There's no one. I think I did it on. Maybe on Jewel, a grocery store, Jewel or something. I forgot where. But I did it a couple times and I'm like, okay, this is not something that the employees are taking seriously at all. So I'm not going to use this feature anymore.
All of those COVID protocols are going down the toilet. In fact, they're the butt of jokes now at this point.
Yeah, I think it's time to get rid of all those parking spots that they reserved for whatever.
Yes, exactly.
Online order, carry out.
Yeah, it's over.
Get rid of it.
Nobody's doing it anymore.
No.
It's done.
Nope. All right. Well, ladies, gentlemen, it's that time of the show. It's been a couple weeks since this happened, but it's happening today. He's going to dance for you. He's going to do it.
Dancing his way across the podcast studio.
Jesus.
What's going on over there?
Oh, Nick Polak has entered the program. I'm not exactly sure what was happening back there.
I think I know what was happening.
Chris knows what I was going for.
He was working on it before we started recording.
I was observing Rodney Dangerfield. When Andy and I were walking in, there must be a live outdoor show going on.
Oh, it's the Wicker Park Summer Concert Series every Thursday night.
Yeah. Any Way You Want It was being played.
Yep.
So then I had to look up the Caddyshack dance. It's the most erratic looking thing I've ever seen. So hopefully that was the second most erratic thing anybody's ever seen.
That was the most erratic thing I've seen.
It's pretty erratic.
I have no idea what direction.
Certainly not erotic.
No.
Sure. Erratic, yes. Very much so. Nick Polak has entered the program. Nick, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you.
And directly to Nick's left, ladies and gentlemen, you want him, we got him.
day, yeah, yeah. I can't have it. Get out of my way, yeah, fuck you.
Put your hands together for the breakout star of the podcast medium. Chris L's here. Pot of Thunder is ready. It's happening.
It is happening.
Is it happening? It's happening.
We
today.
got our own summer podcast series going on over here.
Our summer replacement.
It is, yeah. On the summer solstice that we're recording.
Yes, that's true.
Longest day of the year.
Yeah, so
I'll be damned.
fewer minutes of daylight starting tomorrow.
You guys deserve a treat
Yeah, I can go for a treat.
for making it through this longest day of the year.
I'm a hungry boy.
Who wants to eat dainties? Who wants to eat baked treats with me?
What's that you got over there?
A little candy that Nick gave me.
Another one of those fake chef protein bars?
No.
I picked that up at the world's largest truck stop in Iowa.
Wow. Was that fun?
Yeah, it was cool.
It's called a twin Bing. It is, it's like two bumps, like two ass cheeks in a wrapper.
Yeah, well,
Nutty.
Now that's apropos for a truck stop.
Yeah. Nutty, chocolatey cherry treat.
there you go.
Yeah.
World's largest truck stop.
Yeah.
It seemed to be an accurate description.
I would
The
say
place
so. Yeah.
Just the sheer square footage of the entire facility.
Yeah.
Did
And
they have some crazy shit going on in there too? Like things that you normally would not find at a truck stop?
I guess so. I mean, it just
Truckers not fucking each other.
I didn't.
Is that what they do?
They do.
Allegedly, there was
They absolutely do.
there was some sort of chiropractic office
Oh.
somewhere. I didn't see that for the drivers.
So yeah, if you have a long ride, maybe
Yeah.
your neck is a little stiff, you go in there. Driver fucks.
Yeah.
Like, whoops, wrong door.
You get straightened out one way or the other.
This was the chiropractor.
You get straightened out one way or the other at those places. So
They had a buffet that looked pretty good. Didn't get it, but
What was in there?
I don't know. Just it just looked
Like
really
a
nice.
Whole Foods buffet?
was the sneeze guard actually screwed in place, not falling into
Not-
the food
yeah.
like at the Pizza Hut?
It was screwed in on both ends.
Amazing.
The sneeze guard was waist high.
Yeah,
That's where it should be.
Truckers.
Not in the food.
Fuck me in the ass, but don't sneeze on me. I don't want to catch anything.
Well, that's still a COVID protocol.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Curbside service. Don't sneeze on me.
Yes. Well, that's interesting. Did they have any cowgirl ball caps?
Believe it
on
or not, I looked.
I'm sure you did. I believe that you did.
They had
look.
some that were on the borderline of achieving that level, but no. That I think that one is just lost forever.
Yeah, that was a huge mistake not buying that. Got a picture of it though that we've been laughing about ever since.
Yeah, that's true. Paying off every week, every time we send it to each other.
So what do we got here? The
got-
baked treat.
We got a chocolate chip. Well, it's supposed to be ricotta. I used cream cheese. I just like working with that better. So we'll just say a cream cheese chocolate chip crumb cake.
Okay.
There's a cream cheese layer in the middle with some chocolate chips, and basically the whole cake is crumbs. You pack in the bottom of it, so it's more of a solid layer, and then the top part that's on top of the cream cheese layer, or I don't know how to pronounce it. It's that third less fat, however you say it.
Careful.
The
I've seen that
the cream
before.
cheese. That's that
Yeah.
German-looking word. I don't know how you say it,
Yeah.
but I use
Luftwaffe.
no.
that might be it.
Afraid not. But yeah, I used that, and yeah,
Can I suggest a name for this cake?
absolutely.
How about we call it the "What do you got to say for yourself, crumb cake"?
Yes,
That's
perfect.
Perfect.
Crumb.
It's good.
Yeah. You tried it already?
No. I like the name.
That is a good name.
Did not try it yet. Delightful, Nick.
Looks good.
So
Well, I've been wanting to make it for a while.
What inspired it?
just hadn't made anything for a while and was looking at my Pinterest stuff that I had saved and had pretty much all the ingredients already. Threw it together.
Thank you.
That's
are
good.
welcome.
I'm going to assume it was just for us and not for the whole family. I would be wrong.
What whole family?
Your family.
Oh, no, they had some.
Oh, okay.
Did they like it?
Yeah,
All right. Yeah, I like it.
I-
That's good.
dropped some off by our mom's house on the way here. I don't know if she's in the chat, but
No,
don't know if she got it yet.
she's busy eating that cake.
Yeah.
Doesn't have an extra hand to log in here. Okay, well, I'm going to save mine till we get started with the song and see how it pairs.
There you go.
That's how I like to
All
do
right,
it.
let's try to make that.
Let's try to make that happen.
So it's
Here I come.
Nikki's choice tonight, right?
Yeah, it is.
Here I come.
Nick's coming over.
Our version of Sophie's choice. Nikki's choice.
Thankfully, I've never watched that movie, and I don't plan on ever watching
Neither
it.
have I, and I'm the same way.
Nor have I.
Zero interest
Don't
in
even know what
watching
it's
it.
about.
I don't want it.
No.
I don't need it.
You can't have it.
I will not be having it. All right, here we go. First choice is number 393. 393. Nick's looking here.
Like it.
Ooh. Like that.
Do I even go further?
Your call, bro.
Nah, let's just do it.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. This
Yes.
hasn't happened in a
That's a
while.
winner.
Wow.
All right.
I like where this is going.
Okay. First pick, 393.
I don't think anything's gonna top it.
I doubt it, right? I mean, it'd be difficult to.
Artist that's never been featured
Oh, good.
In all of
It was
our-
like that.
in all of our.
Oh,
how
it's
many
for a
years?
first
11.
choice to resonate with you like that. That's impressive.
Takes me to right away a memory of hanging out with Jericho. So
Now you feel good about the fact that that there's a little or to no possibility of you being hoodwinked by our listeners?
certainly not.
Okay, good. Andy, you support that?
Oh yeah.
We're not going to have a fuck job on the
I think you'll be pleased.
par with Baby Drives Me Crazy. or
Chris
whatever
might be
it
the
was.
most pleased.
Oh, good.
They could
Yeah.
be.
Well, before we get to that, this is a bit of a reach, but I've got to relate this one, so hit it.
Amigos Papa.
Time for Pope stuff. Yeah, that Pope stuff. Here's some Pope stuff. Time for Pope stuff.
I have no idea what this means. Maybe Nick can clarify it, or I'll just click on it because it's hot linked here on Wikipedia, but here we go. The Synod of Hippo.
Okay. The Synod.
The Synod of Hippo.
Which I think Hippo's in Africa.
You know what this is? You've heard of this?
I've heard of it. I couldn't tell you what happened at it, but yeah. They just had a synod last year.
Synod. Is that some kind of meeting?
Yeah. So
It's like a gathering of the juggalos of the hippos.
Synod of the Hippos.
Synod of the
the
juggalos.
hippolos.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's in Africa, if I'm not
Okay,
mistaken.
Synod of Hippo, all right. A council at Hippo Regius in Algeria is hosted by the church. The bishops approve a canon of sacred scripture that correspond to the Roman Catholic Church.
Okay. What year was this again?
393.
Oh, all right.
Yep, the Hippo Regius in northern Africa.
Hippo Regius.
Andy's the wheels are turning over
No.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
it.
well-
All right. Well, I see hippo. I don't know what the hell it's
there. Is it still? I wonder if there's still an area called Hippo or not. I don't know. Not that we need to look into it, but is that one of those things where they're like, no, we can't just. Our area can't be called Hippo.
It's called Hippo.
There have been countless women referred to as
Well,
hippos
now
since
that you
then.
said it, I have to say my one hippo story.
Oh boy.
Well, there you go.
You did it.
Need to hear?
I was going to leave it on the table.
Well, you can't do that.
Out of all the things that I witnessed working for Playboy and Adult.com back then, the most shocking...
Adult.com.
Well, that was like the website. Yeah, that was the website. When I started, that was the website that I was assigned to.
Human.com.
Yeah. Through Playboy, that was the...
Man.com. I mean...
I think they paid big money for Adult.com.
I mean, Adult.com.
It was big. So,
I'm just baffled by it that it was simply Adult.com.
You didn't know that?
They're speaking on behalf of actual adults.
Yeah.
Misrepresenting actual adulthood.
A big part of my life working in there. So, out of all the things that I came across, maybe the most shocking of all... No, there's probably one or two more that I'll save for the Patreon. No. But maybe the most shocking of all the DVDs, because basically we'd get a big stack of DVDs, and our job was to grab a pile. Like, they'd come in a big box that shipped to us from Los Angeles. So you'd come in the morning, grab a stack out of the pile, go into the spreadsheet, mark down that you're working on them, and then you'd rip them, divide them by scenes, and upload them onto the website. Tag them.
Were there ones that when you saw it you didn't want to?
Oh, yeah.
And then you would throw it at another guy, or what?
Not really.
There was no sneaking stuff into another guy's pile?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I think it was just like,
Shocked.
Yeah.
Like,
maybe you just
guy gets
leave
up
it.
to go to the bathroom, you kind of just... Well,
that would be good, and then go in the spreadsheet and change it to that person.
Yeah.
Now, maybe there was some leave it in the box kind of thing. Like, it would probably be more so if there was like you had a pile of all the same ones. You'd be like, I don't want all the same filth. Give me a variety at least so I can, I don't know, it won't impact my day in a negative way.
Right.
But anyway, so out of all the things you're flipping through, and it's like, the same types of things that you think it would be, that would be enticing on that type of website. And then there's one with a title that my jaw dropped when I saw it.
Oh, no.
It was called Lesbe, Lezbe, Hippos. And it was large women in a lesbian movie. And I just thought, like, immediately, how... they didn't tell these poor women, we're going to call you hippos and put you on the DVD cover.
No, of course not.
That wasn't in the that wasn't in the bargain finder ad that they put out.
Yeah, that wasn't in the couple $100 that you got in the contract that you signed. Yeah, we're going to put you on the box cover and call you and her hippos on here. It was untitled.
Well, but they probably got the impression that there was like a big BBW feature. But yes, the
hippos is too much.
It's a crosses a line.
It did. I was
mean,
like, come on. That was one where I was almost like, do we have to publish this?
I mean, up before they slapped the title on it, it wasn't that demeaning.
No,
Hey,
And then,
it wasn't.
And then it just
was an
crossed the line.
artistic performance until they put the title on it.
Then it just got into exploitation.
Yeah. I mean, these girls gave it their all.
Yeah.
They felt comfortable on the set, and then they see it, ready to show their parents and other families about their screen debut.
The caterer was
and
very
the title
nice.
is Lesbe Hippos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. Not cool.
It's a rough industry, man.
Yeah. No respect.
Was then, still is now.
No respect. Should I get
Do
up
the
and
dance
dance
again. Yeah. So there you go. That's what I think of pretty much every time I hear the word hippo.
Oh, well, that's...
And my heart goes out to those poor ladies. I'm sure they had great names too. I should go back and find out what their names were, because they're.
What other animals?
They had colorful names for the
what
starring cast.
What types of hippos are? What genus of hippos were they named after?
Oh man, I don't know. Do they have? I'm sure there are. I don't know anything about the hippo. The actual animal. I know they're violent, right?
Yeah, they kill a lot of people.
Yeah.
Is that so? I didn't know that.
You think they'd be a peaceful animal? But
no, they chase people down. I remember watching a documentary about
ferocious.
it. Hippos leave a bad taste in my mouth now.
Yeah.
Well, when they find out what the title of the adult film is that they've been picked to star in, it gets you a little worked up, I think.
One time they chased the guy away and he dropped the DVD and the hippo stopped and said, "Wait a minute.
Yeah.
What is this?"
Yeah. He was trying to get the guy to pet him. The guy dropped the DVD. So
Wait,
he
hold on a
he
second.
gathered up all his hippo friends and said, "All right, we're killing every person we can find now."
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
In fact, I think I once brought that DVD to a hippo bachelor party and was not received very well.
No.
You got that look on the face like, what the hell is wrong with you?
It wouldn't be.
Hippos walking into the other room with their cell phones,
Calling their loved
calling
ones.
their girlfriends,
Hey, babe.
telling them that they miss them so.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. All right. So, Nick picked the first one on the list.
Yeah, this
Exciting.
was a zero brainer.
Which, interestingly enough, kind of goes with hippos.
does it?
Ooh, I wonder. Well,
Kind of.
we'll see if there's a possible who would win in a clash
Maybe.
kind of situation.
All right. You know the album title?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm looking at it now just to make sure.
Is there anything you want to say before I press play on our intro here?
Just
All right.
that it's a zero brainer when I saw it.
All right.
I had to pick it.
All right, let's turn the microphone over to Chris Jericho.
All right, Hamel. This one's called
Hungry Like the Wolf.
Off of
Rio.
by the band
Duran.
There you
1982. Made it to number 5 on the UK chart. I know. I would think that this spent like 3 years at number 1
go.
probably.
Right? I would have bet that they were.
What are the UK people doing?
Yeah, what's their problem?
Was it number one in the U.S.?
I don't know. I'm looking. It had to be, right? I mean,
So, I mean, it wasn't their first single. I think I want to say it was Planet Earth. Girls on Film preceded Hungry Like the Wolf, but I mean, this was the first single off what was probably their biggest album.
Yeah.
Certainly up to that time. So I would think that at least here in the U.S. it ascended to that level.
it was number 1 in Canada.
Well,
And the top rock tracks U.S. Billboard, but it reached number 3 on the Hot 100 in the U.S.
all right.
South African, New Zealand, Ireland, all number 4. So Netherlands number 50. What's going
the
on?
hell?
What's going on, Netherlands?
I'll have to talk to our friend Roderick about that. Who probably, I don't think he was born, but we're blaming him. Roderick, you got some explaining to do.
Plenty. So yeah, this was Neil. I think Neil Johnson submitted this.
Yes, Neil
yeah,
Johnson
it was.
submitted it.
Yeah,
Just one submission.
Yeah,
One
okay.
submission.
That's all you need.
Let me read you what Neil said. He said, one of my favorite riffs of all time. Wait, is that the right thing? Yes. Such an iconic song with an equally legendary video that was part Indiana Jones, part Miami Vice. This song is sonic perfection. There you go.
Does that predate Miami Vice? 1982.
I don't know.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, look that up.
1984. This
So it
predates
does.
it. All right.
Okay. So this is what was happening, and they're like, let's make a TV show like that.
Well, I think
I
he's
guess,
talking
yeah.
mainly like the fashions.
Yeah.
Specifically the light-colored suit jackets with the sleeves pushed up over the elbow.
Yeah.
It became the look of Don Johnson on Miami Vice.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, so 1982. All right. I saw these guys a couple of years ago at the United Center. Great show.
And I saw him at Ravinia probably 8 years ago now.
Yeah, liked it.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. A little bit of a ripoff in terms of just before they were about to take the stage, they announced that Nick Rhodes had to leave the country for some sort of family emergency. So we didn't get Nick Rhodes that night. Some I don't know, maybe they're keyboard tech or whatever, but somebody
Yeah.
else got up there and played the keys that night. But that was like a last minute announcement that he had to bail on it. But,
People started throwing their wine goblets.
a little bit, yeah, throwing Limburger cheese at the stage.
Rolling up their picnic blankets and trying to trying to
beating each other,
trying to get to the stage.
like pugil sticks from
Trying to
bludgeoning with candelabras and whatnot.
Trying to whip Simon Le Bon.
You guys, I take it, have both been to Ravinia.
Yes, I've been there twice, I think.
I've
Twice.
been there twice.
Logistical nightmare.
Oh,
I will
gotta be the
not-
worst place.
Will not go again. I mean, once you're in there, it's a very pleasant experience, but getting up there from where we live, it's on the opposite side of the fucking city of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
It takes at least an hour to get up there.
Yeah, and then the last time I went, I don't remember if it was like this the first time, but the last time I went, you had to take a shuttle
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
in. Is that how it always is?
Yeah, well, there's like probably on site maybe 10 available parking spots.
Okay.
And then
So then
every
they-
place else is you got to park somewhere else and be shuttled.
I
in.
think I walked one time.
Really?
I think.
Long walk, I assume.
Yeah.
If they have shuttles, yeah. But it was just a pain in the ass.
Oh, huge pain in the ass. I mean,
Yeah.
beautiful place to see a show. Once you're in there, it's great, but getting there and then after the show, you're like, I got to go through this in reverse.
Yeah.
This sucks, you know?
Yeah.
And so I won't do it again, but I saw a few concerts there about 8-ish years ago, and, I saw a few bands I hadn't seen before, Duran Duran being one of them. Santana I had seen before, but I saw them there. And Stevie Nicks I saw there.
Okay.
Easily the quietest concert I've ever seen.
Stevie
The
Nicks?
lowest volume concert I've ever seen.
I was going to say both concerts I saw, you could speak to each other at this volume.
And you're uncomfortable.
And you're worried you're disturbing the next person.
Yeah, but even with that, the Stevie Nicks one was even like a notch lower than that. It
Yeah.
was shocking.
Well, I didn't have that problem
How low it was.
when I saw Peter, Paul, and Mary there. No problem with it being too quiet.
Paul was screaming, or Peter, whoever it was.
Well, Paul was yelling on stage. Peter marched down the center aisle to the soundboard because it was too loud up in the monitors.
must
One of the
been great
best
to
stories
see.
ever.
That is great.
You
yeah.
could tell he was furious.
What if, like, wouldn't you think their demeanor would just be like, hey, go talk to a guy off stage. Hey, could you go tell them to turn it down, please?
Oh,
Thank
man,
you.
this
This guy's screaming.
This isn't the 60s.
I guess not.
They'd been in the game for decades.
Yeah, that whole
They weren't
peace and
putting up
love
with it.
charade had gone out the window with Manson and the Vietnam and all the other realities of the world that blew that bullshit out of the water.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
yeah, he's going to go commit violence against the sound guy, which I'm in favor of.
He was not
You don't
happy.
care for the sound guy.
I don't care for
He
the
was
sound
hunched
guy.
over the sound
It's
guy.
it's on par with what Ace did, yelling at him over the mic. I love that shit. Get it right. That's your fucking job.
That's true.
You had a sound check. Figure it out.
And usually that's, if you watch those things happen, it's usually not the first thing where the performer goes to screaming. Like there's probably there's many requests before that.
Sure.
Yeah. It's not just wait a minute, that doesn't sound perfect to
No,
me.
it does. It doesn't. It doesn't go from 0 to 60 there
No.
because the continued ineptitude of the sound tech is what ratchets things up. So
Yeah. If you go back, watch a song or two before the blow up, between they're pointing and they're doing
Yes,
ups and downs
exactly.
and stuff. They're asking for turn this up, turn this down.
plus you're a professional, and we had a sound check. How can this be so out of whack at this point?
Yeah, what happened?
Well, and I thought the guy looked familiar. It ended up, I saw him on TV at Mandela's funeral a few years later. the sound tech.
Just bouncing from one job to another with
Just the
Exactly.
pretender over
fake
here.
resume.
Equally qualified for the job. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, he did mention the video. Do you guys want me to fire up the screen over here, or what's your...
I don't know. Do you think it's a must-watch? I think the song is lively enough.
I agree. My initial instinct is that I don't want to go to that effort for the video watch along and focus on the music.
Yeah.
I'm with
There's
you.
plenty happening musically.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we'll be okay without it. So
I will say about the video, though, that it would have been my, I believe, my second interracial self-pleasuring session. Inspired by that. So first one, of course, being Thelma from Good Times. So yeah, I probably don't need that level of stimulation at this stage of the evening. But
that was good enough to just share that.
Yeah,
if you want to see what Chris is talking about, you can look on your own.
Well,
time.
and I'm sure I would wager to guess that most, if not everybody out there, is familiar with this video. This is the one that really put Duran Duran on the map.
I don't remember the video.
Well, it's like they're on a African safari, like he said. It was almost like an Indiana Jones type thing.
So Duran Duran booked their vacations and just happened to film
well, they did,
right?
the Rio's
on a boat.
It is on a boat, and then not in that same vibe, but I mentioned it before, but the Girls on Film video, the initial cut was deemed X-rated. They had to cut some stuff out of it.
My goodness.
So yeah, they were all about ruffling those kind of feathers back in the day.
I wonder what was X-rated.
Just nudity.
Some nudity.
Bare tits, probably.
That wasn't a big deal where they came from. But,
no, they didn't care.
But here, nope.
Right.
None of that.
Oh, we're so stuffy here.
We are.
Yeah. But this
just murder on TV all day long.
But this was the video had high production values. Really portrayed them in the most flattering light possible in terms of their, establishing them as one of the best looking bands on the planet. And that was right after, MTV had been going for maybe a year at that point, and it's just through the roof for these guys. So.
Nick, anything to say before we get started?
No, I think we rip into it.
Okay. Well, let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with Hungry Like the Wolf.
Already a lot of cool stuff going on musically.
Yeah.
A cool little sparse kind of a bass line going on. I don't know what, I'm sure it's just some sort of keyboard sound, but I'm trying to think of in nature, acoustically, what would make a sound like that. I don't know. Some kind of air into some sort of bottle, like over the cap of a bottle,
Well, I think I'm focusing on something else, that more like popping keyboard noise.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
And then Neil mentioned the riff, of course. Very one of those riffs everybody knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all of 3 or 4 notes there. It's the simplicity of it, and we of course would be remiss if we didn't mention that this is a staple of the set of the Guardians of the Jukebox, Rich Ward's 80s cover band. This one went over quite well at the Jericho Fest, the 5150 Fest.
I had a moment with Chris during this song.
Really?
Yeah.
That's Chris or Chris Jericho?
Chris Jericho.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
on the dance floor. We just kind of happened to be we shuffled around, and we happened to be face to face with each other and locked eyes right before one of the do, and just kind of did like a do at each other.
Sang it to each other. Yeah. Well,
both stripped from the waist down, dancing on the dance floor, doing at each other.
It's these 80s anthems inspire that kind of thing in people. And
sorry,
that's part of the genius of that band. Their set list is impeccable. Just everything. There's no downtime in their set, and it just keeps getting better. Plus, since we've seen them, they've replaced a keyboardist with a female keyboardist, so they can incorporate all those songs in that are, sung by women or whatever. Eurythmics, the flash dance thing, which they just put out a video for. So those guys are just killing it out there.
No, I have no idea, but if you've got a female vocalist in the band now, I really hope they're doing Take Me Home Tonight. I hope that's in the set.
Yeah, that I'm not sure. I don't think I've seen that.
Well,
send out a
free suggestion.
tweet. Yeah.
I don't think they need any suggestions.
They probably
from
don't,
anybody,
but I'm just
so
saying that's where my mind went at first.
My mind immediately went when I heard that they had added a female to the band who could sing. Immediately thought of The Warrior by Scandal.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a no-brainer, I would think. But they don't need our advice or my advice. They're doing quite well, and this song is a staple of the set when we saw them years ago, and it apparently still is. So
I figured out what that popping sound was.
What is it, Nick?
Foil and crumbs over there.
Yeah, I took a bite of this cake that Nick gave me, and everything on the top fell off onto the foil.
The crumbs are everywhere.
It lives up to its Twilight Zone inspired name.
Yeah.
Well, what's isn't there like a popcorn song that the whole thing is this keyboard sound?
Yeah.
Bump 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 bump.
Yep.
Bump 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 bump. It's like called the popcorn song, I think.
I don't know.
I remember a techno version of it.
Yeah. So this is reminding me of that.
I guess I didn't hang out that year.
I guess in keeping with the theme, you could maybe make a reach that it's approximating the sound of a steel drum, a Caribbean thing, but I think that might be too much of a reach. I don't think it necessarily blends in with the vibe of the video. I just, Nick Rhodes was known for his, early and prolific, synth experimentations. Like, for example, the main keyboard riff in Save a Prayer, when he does the little pitch wheel thing, just throws that little one flip of the thumb, and it just turns the whole keyboard line into something totally iconic.
Yeah.
You couldn't have it without it, so... That's why I was pissed off when he wasn't going to be playing with him. I almost walked out at that point.
Been doing a lot of walking over that.
Yeah,
place.
Exactly.
Sure.
The only reason I didn't is because I don't think the shuttle was running during the show, so I would have not been able to get back to my car. But I'm definitely one of those guys who's like, Nick Rhodes isn't playing tonight? What is this? This is a fucking ripoff. Nobody else cared.
Yeah, pretty much nobody would care.
You're trying to get a chant going. nobody went with it.
Yeah. Did they offer refunds? No.
No.
It wasn't like that. Yeah, the shuttle driver was probably the one playing the keyboard.
Exactly. Yeah. but yeah, no, this you got the guitar riff, and then of course, John Taylor on the bass, which one of the top.
Yeah, he's good.
One of the easily top bass players of the era.
Yeah, I didn't really realize that, and then when I saw them live, I'm like, oh, this guy's freaking amazing.
Oh yeah,
like he's excellent.
Absolutely.
And they all look good still. I'm like, come on, guys, can you fatten up or something?
There's no Mike Renos in the band.
No, not at all. They look good. They sound great.
I mean, Andy Taylor's not in the band anymore, but. Everybody else, the other four of them they're still. I mean, obviously they're getting up there visually in age, but they're in shape.
Yeah. What's the drummer's name? Roger something.
Roger Taylor.
Oh, it's Roger. He's another Roger Taylor.
3 Taylors in the band, none of them related to each other.
Okay. Yeah, he was good too. His look, I was like, oh, this guy. He looks like he was kind of old, Like I was thinking, like, oh man, I don't know if this guy's going to be able to handle this. Like you're kind of worried. Obviously, he can handle it. He's up there, but you know what I mean. Like I was like, oh, he looks kind of like an old dude. He was wearing a leather jacket, but he was very limber.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like he had no problems.
I mean, he departed the band, toward the end of the '80s, and then came back. I think. Probably not until like early 2000s, but he's been back with them ever since.
Okay.
So.
And good looking guy too, just for the record. I said old looking. I just meant he didn't look like he was, I keep using the word limber, but he just didn't look like he was, he would be able to get around the kit. Good looking guy in a leather jacket, but I was like, this guy's going to be phoning it in, playing halfway, like.
All good looking guys in the band.
No,
and they all could play and write great songs.
Yeah. And I think I said this before, maybe, when we talked about, I feel like I talked about going to that concert, but we never did a Duran Duran episode. But out of any band I've ever seen, I think Simon Le Bon, as an older guy, his voice is perfect. Other bands I've seen, like Iron Maiden or Kiss or whatever, you know, you're like, oh, these guys, when Paul Stanley still could do it, you're like, oh, they could still do it. But you could hear that their voice had like damage to it.
Mm-hmm. Or they had tuned down.
Or tuned down. I heard nothing different in his voice whatsoever.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. Like, you couldn't tell anything.
Wow.
Out of anybody, he might be the most perfect live singer of that type of music that I've ever seen.
In terms of recreating it decades later.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll go along with that. Yep. I mean, the sound was pristine when I saw them, and I didn't expect it to be anything but. So
yeah.
Dark in the city, night is a wire. Steam in the subway, earth is a fire. Woman, you want me, give me a sign. And catch my breathing even closer behind.
Just pure ear candy as far as melody goes. Mm-hmm. That's, to me, there's all the instrumentation, which is great in Duran Duran songs, but the melodies were always perfect. And this song is obviously one of those cases. Mm-hmm. Lyrically, not sure. Well, I am kind of sure what's happening. Not sure that I want to go any further.
Uh-oh.
It's getting a little predatory.
Okay.
I don't read it.
Dark in the city, night is a wire. Not sure what that means, but steam in the subway, earth is a fire. Woman, you want me, give me a sign, and catch my breathing even closer behind. He's in pursuit, but
he's horny.
She may not have given him a sign.
He's telling her that she wants him.
Yeah.
That old trick.
I mean, how many Kiss songs did we talk about that on?
40.
It probably was.
It probably was. Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Well, and that goes along with the theme of the video. I think that's the whole, it's Simon Le Bon as the Indiana Jones character pursuing this extremely attractive African-American woman throughout all these exotic locales. And I know there are tigers in the video, possibly hippos, I don't know, but, safari-esque animals everywhere.
Was she African-American or just African?
I don't know. I'm just using the safe phrase at this point.
Woman of color.
I'm assuming she's been stateside.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a valid point, but yeah, a woman of color, put it that way.
Yeah. Okay. Let's keep going.
In touch with the ground, I'm on the hunt, I'm after you. Smell like a sound, I'm lost in a crowd, and I'm hungry like the wolf. Straddle the line, discord and rhyme. I'm on the hunt, I'm after you. Mouth is alive, juice is like wine, and I'm hungry like the wolf.
I mean, that might be some of the most savagely amorous lyrics I've ever read.
Give them to us.
Yeah.
In touch with the ground, I'm on the hunt, I'm after you. Smell like I sound, I'm lost in a crowd. And
so he smells like an animal too.
Yeah, he's got musk happening. Yeah. I'm hungry like the wolf. Straddle the line of discord and rhyme.
I've always liked that lyric.
I always thought it was disco and rhyme.
No,
but I thought he followed her into a discotheque. I'm on the hunt, I'm after you. Now listen to this. Mouth is alive with juices like wine, and I'm hungry like the wolf. My goodness.
Well, you got a little September vibes a couple
big
months
time.
early. Yeah.
Only one thing on this guy's mind. Unmistakable.
Nothing wrong with it.
I like the smell like I sound. That makes one think.
That's smell like I sound.
And mouth is
like
alive
shit.
with juices. You hear flatulence. I smell like I sound.
Yeah. Disgusting.
See our garbage
Let's
truck
hope
go
that's
by.
not it, but no, it's very, sexy song, sexy video, sexy guys. I mean, is it any wonder that these guys blew up like they did? I mean,
yeah, great.
It's just, I don't know I think if to call them a boy band would be discrediting their musical ability because they were actually musicians, you know, but they had all those ingredients. I mean, every fucking guy in the band was good looking. Although you can't really say that about a lot of the boy bands. Joey Fatone.
There's always a fucked up looking guy in those bands if you go back.
He ain't good looking.
Yeah.
That one guy who looked like a fucking gorilla in New Kids on the Block. I can't think his name, but it's just, he had the facial features of a gorilla.
Yeah. There's always a white guy with dreads. It's like, come on, man.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Let's not
Chris Kilpatrick.
Let's not do this.
In Sync had two complete duds.
Yeah, we don't need this.
And then the third guy was gay, so that just left Timberlake and whoever that other guy was who fit the bill. But
yeah,
so maybe 2.5 out of 5.
Yeah,
Duran Duran was a rock solid 5 guys out of 5 who would work any woman into a frenzy. So they had all the ingredients, plus they could play, and their songs were better. So
yeah,
I mean,
and really, for the guys who are the musical type, musically, there's a lot going on. It's not.
Hell yeah.
And the arrangements are not all like if you listen to the Reflex, the arrangement's not what you're expecting.
Yeah, it's tricky, right?
Yeah. So they've got I would say, I mean, I don't know if people hold them in this regard, but I'd say they would have some credibility, like street cred musically.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
For even for like if you're a prog guy, there's a little bit in there for you.
I think they could cross over to pretty much anybody, at least to some degree, unless you're just straight up metalhead who was not willing to like anything else.
And that was part of it. I will say that, like, in high school when this came out, this would have been one of those what people call a guilty pleasure. It's like if you were a rocker, you couldn't really come out and admit that you liked Duran Duran, but if you really were paying attention and listening, you would have heard the hard rock edge of the guitar, which Andy Taylor brought to the band. John Taylor, of course, incredible bass player. And there were a lot of great bass players in some of these 80s pop bands, like Mark King and Level 42.
I don't know.
We talked about Kaja Gugu in the Dokken episode, but it had a guy named Nick Beggs in that band who was an incredible bass player, and Nile Rodgers ended up producing Duran Duran down the road.
Oh, really?
And
he was the opening act.
He was the opening act when I saw him too.
Yeah.
And he was definitely drawn. They were drawn to each other because I'm sure that Chic was and I can say this with 99.9% certainty, but Chic was a big influence on Duran Duran, and then Nile Rodgers picked up on that and produced one of their, I think Notorious was the first album he produced of theirs, but mutual respect. I mean, giants of music. Absolutely no loss of credibility from a musical standpoint by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
Stalk through the forest, too close to hide. I'll be upon you by the moonlight side. High blood drumming on your skin, it's so tight. You feel my heat, I'm just a moment behind.
Give me those lyrics.
Ooh. Stalked in the forest, too close to hide. I'll be upon you by the moonlight side.
Wow, upon you.
I'll be upon you. High blood drumming on your skin. It's so tight.
Whoa.
You feel my heat. I'm just a moment behind.
What does that mean? High blood drumming.
There must be
blood pressure,
rhythmic
pulsing,
slapping.
Rhythmic slapping. It could mean all of
visible pulse, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. This is a song I've never known the lyrics to, so this is interesting. I mean, I kind of guessed what it was about. I could figured it out, but I never actually knew what he was saying.
I like the line, I'll be upon you by the moonlight side.
Yeah.
I'm getting like, now I know Chris has kind of given us the quick synopsis of the music video, but I'm getting like, I mean, obviously it's Hungry Like the Wolf. I am totally getting like a werewolf kind of a vibe here.
Yeah.
Like he's I guess we can parallel it to Almost Human, that sort of thing, where he's a man, but he's changing into something savage.
Oh, the woman is bringing it out of him.
Yeah.
He's I don't know, he's worked up.
Yeah.
So maybe if you play the Bark at the Moon video to this song,
you think that goes together?
I wonder if it goes together.
It syncs up like Dark Side of the Moon and the Wizard of Oz, maybe.
Two enduring works.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like I said, these are September vibes coming out early.
Big time.
It's a very sexy song. There's no doubt about it. It's probably better that we're not watching the video because the both of those things happening, there might be some trousers being pulled down to the floor. I mean, there's only so much somebody can put up with before they just are inspired to act, and it's a sexy video. I'm telling you, one I looked forward to coming up whenever when we finally got MTV, which was about a year after it came out, and yeah, this was in constant rotation. I think they showed it every hour for months.
In touch with the ground, I'm on the hunt, I'm after you. Center the sound, I'm lost and I'm found, and I'm hungry like the wolf. Start on the line, it's disco and rhyme. I howl and I whine, I'm after you. Mouth is alive, I'm running inside, and I'm hungry like the wolf.
It's maybe one of the most irresistible hooks to not sing to the I'm on the hunt, I'm after you.
Yeah,
when you get to that line and then you can hear the harmony part so clearly. It's so hard to not sing along to that and ruin the podcast.
Inviting you to ruin the podcast.
No, it's like you said, it's a masterful, not just pop song, just piece of music. Just because it's a pop song, you don't want to diminish the quality of it. If it's just because it's ear candy doesn't mean it's less good than anything that's quote unquote more complicated or composed or whatever you want to say. I mean, this is just from any musical standpoint, this is a masterwork.
Yeah. All right, let's see what's next. I don't love that part.
I don't either, but
I didn't need that.
But considering the time period,
Yeah.
two things come to mind.
You don't like just him saying the title of
Yeah.
the song over again? What about the rest of it?
The rest of it's great. I just don't think that voice needed to be added in there.
Yeah.
I'd say
okay.
let's lose that, guys. If I
Punch
was at the
that
helm,
out.
yeah.
It's 82, and two things are coming to mind. Mama say, Mama sa, Mama kusa. Like you got like the tribal kind of
Yeah.
chanting that almost
That
gets into that
breakdown.
territory. And oh man, I'm gonna get this one wrong. The breakdown of All Night Long. The
Oh yeah.
I can't remember how it starts, but I know it's Jumbo Jumbo.
Oh, yeah.
What was going on with
What
that
was
time
Lionel
period?
up to?
Some African chant or what? I don't even know if those are actually anything or if that's just nonsense that's supposed to.
It could be
sound
like
that.
Mustafa by Queen, where it's really nothing.
Is it? That's just nonsense.
I thought it was just made up phonetics. Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
could be wrong.
Yeah, they could have done that here. Would have been the right time period.
But you're not a fan of the.
No, hungry like the wolf.
It is a.
Like the wolf.
It does get into cheese.
Yeah, they didn't need that.
No, I guess
you have a
I guess
perfect
not.
song.
They could have just left it instrumental.
Yeah, or you could have just had more grunts and panting.
Yeah,
whatever.
the chase through the jungle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, it's just it's never been something that I even gave much thought of because it's always been there and just part of the song. But I get the criticism of it. It doesn't bother me. Again, like I said, it's just a part of it for me. But back to what you were insinuating there, Andy, about if you were at the helm, you almost wonder if the producer decided that it should go in there and they didn't have it in there originally, or it was their idea and nobody decided to pull the plug on it. But, I could see it being the first scenario where someone who answers primarily to the record label is like, I think we need to reinforce that there's too much music going on here. There's no lyrics, we need to reinforce the name of the song. I could see that totally.
Like one of
being
those
the
situations where the first time we heard that was when we put the record on.
Too much music happening here.
It's seriously,
No, and
I
you're
could
right.
see that totally being the case.
Yeah.
Then again, maybe they liked it and thought that was the right thing to do. But
Yeah.
I was just reading that allegedly the song was inspired by the fairy tale Little Red Riding Hood.
Really?
Yeah, which makes sense.
I guess so. That makes sense to me. But he's also adding some horniness to it.
Yeah,
He's not just
trying
to eat someone.
He's not trying to just actually devour a human being.
Yeah. All right, let's see what's next.
I heard some black cats going off there. That's how they got that sound.
Yeah.
That totally
Fireworks.
totally sounded like a pack of black cats going off.
Or I drop more chocolate chips on the foil.
yeah, that
Another
might have
bite.
been it. Which reminds me, I got to get this stuff together for the fireworks game next week.
Is that next week?
That's
already?
next.
Holy
That's our
mackerel.
next recording session.
How could it be? Wow. Unbelievable.
That's the 4th episode.
Yeah, I got to get my shit together, man. It's coming up.
Jeez.
Andy's got a title to defend. I mean,
I won?
Yeah,
you're the reigning champion.
No idea.
won in overtime last year.
Chris dropped the
No
belt to
memory
you
of
last
this.
year.
And since I lost, I have to be the MC. That's how it's going to work moving forward. So.
You could have said, yeah, Andy didn't get any right last year. I'd be like, yeah, I know.
It was rough.
Don't remember that. Okay.
you're champion.
Well, hey, look at me. Champion. I could have had a king-themed year. I could have worn a crown every week. I didn't know. Damn it. All right.
We gotta be on top of these things.
Yeah. All right. Let's keep going.
No one's gonna put a crown on you.
I guess I have to bring my
You
own
gotta get your own crown.
All right. I'm going to Party City if I win next week.
Going to Burger King if I win.
Well, if that's still open. That's got to be the next chain that's going down the
this
street.
Burger King over here.
There's 0 people working at
Cesspool.
those.
Yeah, hopefully they're just selling drugs out of it. 'Cause
Yeah.
there's no other way.
There's no food being served at that place.
I haven't seen a human being inside of a Burger King. Not that I look that often, but anytime I've gone by,
years,
it's strictly locked up. You have to go through the drive-thru.
Oh, they won't even let you in.
There's one person. I don't think people go inside of Burger King anymore.
Used to be a fun time.
Times have changed,
Times have
Andy.
changed, man. I know it.
Those
I know
innocent days of your youth are over with.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There's just too many fucking options out there. There's just not enough human beings to staff a shit restaurant anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
You just can't get people. But yeah, this Burger King near us, bottom of the barrel.
There was a Burger King in Hammond. I remember going through the drive-thru in like 2000. Unbelievably shitty. Shockingly bad. Clearly microwaved a burger from the day before and gave it to me. It was like, like if you've done that at home, that's what it was like. I'm like, come on, man. This is not new food.
This is not flame broiled.
This is not what you're...
And also the cheese was not inside the sandwich. It was on the top of the bun.
And not even remotely melted. It's just
no, it was like...
It was melted on top.
It was like overly melted on top.
Overly melted.
You had to flip the bun.
Because they probably threw a piece of cheese on the top, microwaved the whole thing in the wrapper, and gave it to me and gave me
their
the
first
finger.
day. They'd never seen a hamburger before.
No, it was just like what Chris said, where food is not being... There's no food transactions happening.
No.
So I came through the drive-thru at a weird time. It was like 3 p.m. or something.
And they're like, oh no.
What the hell?
Oh snap, we got to cook something.
Find food for this idiot? Yeah. Yeah, terrible. And it's closed. It's been long closed, but I feel like this one's next. The one that we
has to be.
People don't put up with it when they get that kind of service. Places close down.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Word spreads. People don't go there anymore.
Well, and the drive-through across the street at Wendy's is always 10 cars deep. They got it dialed in.
They don't play around at that Wendy's.
Quality is their recipe.
It is.
But
yeah.
that Burger King is like,
that orange dreamsicle frosty that I haven't had yet.
It's calling your name.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I mentioned what I did is I think the one time I decided to order a Whopper with cheese was at this Burger King.
Yeah.
And you get it, and it's just like they took a craft single and dropped it on there with no heating to it, and you paid an extra $1 for that.
Ooh, yeah, cold piece of cheese.
It's the last time I ever ordered a Whopper with cheese, I'll tell you that.
That's bullshit, huh? Like you said, times are changing.
Yeah, that one's next. It's terrible.
Yep.
I'm on the hunt, I'm after you. I smell like a sound, I'm lost and I'm found, and I'm hungry like the wolf. Straight on the line, it's discord and rhyme. I'm on the hunt, I'm after you. Mouth is alive, juice is like wine, and I'm hungry like the wolf.
Hot off the press is here. I just got a message in my box from our friend Jeff in Winnipeg.
And
it's from...
something going down up there?
It's from the CTV News. It says, man charged following attack inside Burger King. Oh boy. Winnipeg police have arrested and charged a 25-year-old man following an attack at a Burger King that sent a man to the hospital with serious injuries earlier this week.
My goodness.
Let's see what happened. I want to see why. I wonder if this is a cold cheese incident.
Cold cheese. Someone poked their eye out on the corner of cold
exactly.
cheese.
So I'm not paying $1 for this. And I
On
said,
the
yes,
corner
you
of
are.
cold and cheese.
Yeah. No. Okay. There's no details other than the injury that 45-year-old man was found. That's not funny at all. That's not funny at all.
But why are you laughing?
The phrasing.
What are you
doing? A 45-year-old man was found suffering. That just sounds funny.
Why would they write it that way?
I don't know.
It's terribly written. So
poor guy.
Found suffering.
Suffering from what and why?
Yeah, he was hurt.
Or just found suffering.
No, he was
in general.
Yeah.
Yikes.
He was attacked Next time, melt my cheese.
Attacking people.
Yeah. That's what happens. Thank you, Jeff.
Our on the scene
reporter.
Live.
Instantaneous Burger King upheaval stories being fed to us.
Good thing he's on our news
He's like
team.
the human artificial intelligence just rattling off Burger King incidents.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going. Woman moaning in there.
Yeah, I thought I heard that on that last chorus.
Oh, yeah,
it's
in there.
Yeah,
for sure.
And they didn't have to make up a fake story like Axl Rose either.
Yeah, exactly.
It was voluntary moaning.
Yeah. Some bullshit about Steven Adler's girlfriend.
Yeah,
Get out of here. It's
dumbest
not even
story.
remotely believable.
And that grown men think that's a cool
They
story.
still
It's the
do.
most embarrassing
It
thing.
is.
They still think
And
it's real.
it insults the intelligence of everybody out there. Anybody who would believe that is just, wrong.
And it takes it even further when people think it's cool. Like, not only is this true,
Like, how great
but let's
is
high
that?
five because that's awesome.
Right.
No.
Let's high five.
I'm going to leave you suffering in a Burger King.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Drop
to high five me.
Drop
with
a
that.
Kraft single on your crumpled body after I kick your ass and charge you $1 for it. Take $1 out of your wallet for it. Call that yellow smoking.
I like that. Could be a new thing.
Just carry around Kraft singles.
Don't even take it out of the wrapper.
Yeah, just on the off chance you have to kick somebody's ass. And just the ultimate humiliation. Just flip it onto somewhere onto their body as they're collapsed on the ground.
Perfect.
So insulting. Okay. Nick, you chose this song
yes, I
via
did.
Neil Johnson on the listener submission list.
Yes.
So you will be voting first, Sweet Surrender or Kick in the Crotch.
Very sweet.
It's sweet surrender. Hell yes.
Yeah, it's one of the top songs of the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
I will agree with Andy, that little middle section with hungry like the wolf. Like it gets into cheese right there. The rest of it I don't think does. It's pretty awesome from start to finish. So I have no real complaint about it whatsoever.
All right, Chris.
Oh, yeah, Sweet Surrender for sure.
It's sweet surrender. Hell yes.
A masterpiece, and I would say probably, well, I've done a lot of regrettable things in my life, but one of the things would have been, like I said, back when you're in high school and early college, and you're a rocker, you couldn't openly admit that you liked this kind of music, but if you were someone who appreciated music in any way, and if, quite frankly, if you were a horny high school, college kid, this stuff drew you in immediately. And yeah, I mean, you listen back to it, all the 80s pop, outstanding stuff, and it just goes back to what we talk about all the time. There should be no guilty pleasures. If you like something, like it, enjoy it. There's nothing to be ashamed of, anything, especially when music and art is concerned. If you like it, fly the flag, who cares? And especially when it's this good, when the level of quality is not up for debate. It by any measure, this is masterful music creation here.
Don't be insecure and worry that someone's gonna take you down and lay cheese on you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to get to that point. It's music. It's all to be, enjoyed, and you like what you like, and this was definitely, like I said, Andy Taylor and John Taylor went on to form the Power Station, which is a little like more rocking, harder edged guitars.
Robert
and stuff.
Palmer?
Robert Palmer,
Okay.
Tony Thompson of Chic on drums, and but you can hear the sort of the rock edge in the guitars, and again the bass playing is great, and it just hits all the marks. Everything is on point. The part, the Hungry Like the Wolf thing in the middle that Andy and Nick are not fans of, never bothered me. I think maybe when you're watching it in the context, when you're watching the video, there's other stuff going on, so you don't really pay much attention to it, but it never really bothered me. It still doesn't. Like I said, it's probably some producer, someone with the record label is like, okay, we got a single on our hands, but there's no words in that middle section. You got to reinforce the name of the song for people.
And
That's the mentality they have. They're just like,
you gotta justify your job too.
I
came up with that part.
You got to hit people over the head with it, and no, masterful piece of music, great pick, great submission, all of it. Great.
Didn't Michael DeBar take over
he
for
stepped
Robert
in,
Palmer?
after
one of my favorite Pot of Thunder moments was inspired by him.
Which one?
The what was it? See You in Your Dreams. The Gene solo version when Michael DeBar is going off.
Okay.
And then I think if I'm not mistaken, the outro music of that episode, we all mimicked Michael DeBar.
Oh, that's right.
One of my favorite Pot of Thunder moments.
That's a good one.
It has to be the 78 solo version, though.
How did he step in? What did he do?
He took over for Robert Palmer as singer of Power Station.
Okay.
Because it was just supposed to be a one-off, but it really caught fire and got popular, and Robert Palmer wanted to return to his solo career.
Yeah.
And these other guys wanted to keep the band going, so they brought in Michael DeBar. I'm not sure if he ever recorded an album with them. I don't even know if they put out a second album.
I don't know.
But he just continued touring with them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not even sure Robert Palmer did many live dates with him at all. I think it was just supposed to be like a side project recording thing, and it just caught fire because the singles, the Bang and Gong cover and Some Like It Hot were super popular, and they were like, well, you got to take this shit on the road. And he's like, well, I don't want to do that. I want to do my solo career. So,
I got my bizarre looking backing band.
yeah.
All right. Well, it's my turn to vote. Sweet Surrender or Kick in the Crotch. I'm giving it a Sweet Surrender.
It's Sweet Surrender. Hell yes.
Yeah, this is maybe the easiest Sweet Surrender, I think, from
My goodness.
from all three of us. There was no question. I don't think there's any debate in our heads. It's not on the fence. No. It's a slam dunk. I think, Nick, you said one of the... Like, if you said, oh, what's like an 80s song? This might be the first one I would think of.
Like, give me an example of what was popular in the 80s.
Yeah, this might be the one. Honestly, like, we could probably go on a playlist and put, like...
That's an interesting
80s.
question.
It might be this, like...
I'd like to ask all listeners who are... It's in the future as of this recording, but who are listening to this episode now, to go on Facebook and say what song... First song that comes to mind if someone said, what's an 80s song? What's an example of 80s pop music?
All right. I'm going to try something real quick. It's not going to work because I'm going to shuffle it. But 80s hits essentials. What's it going to be? Ready?
Watch out, here I come.
No.
What is that? Frankie Goes to Hollywood?
That's Dead or Alive. You spin me around like a record.
Okay, well, that works.
But on the first page, like Hungry Like a Wolf's like the 12th one on here.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Absolutely. I would say that would be one of the first ones I would think of. So,
Well, given the time that it came out, this was the first like massively popular video that was created after MTV came out.
okay.
I mean, in terms of, again, the combination of the production values, the guys in the band, the quality of the song, it's just like checked all the boxes, just was unbelievably popular. You know, because when MTV started, they had to just fill up the time with all videos that had been created up to that point, which there are a lot more than people think, but by the same token, it wasn't such a marketing tool as it became. And this was one of the first ones that just came out of the gate, like totally designed for MTV to blow up on that channel, and absolutely it did.
Well, guess what? Nick, you're never going to believe it.
I'm gonna.
All right, Hammond. I got a question for you.
Paul Stanley wants to know.
No, Creatures of the Night was the right call.
Yeah. Let's say, should I pivot here and do stuff like Hungry Like the Wolf? Is it a rock and roll boner classic? As voted by the 3 rock and roll boners in this room, this very moment. Creatures of the Night was what? 81?
82.
82, 81
same
was
Elder.
Yeah. So it would be Lick It Up would be 83.
Yeah.
So maybe that would be the time period where the pivot would happen. Should I start doing Hungry Like the Wolf type of music? Should I ditch the band?
Well, in essence, that they were ditching what they'd done up to that point and took off the makeup.
That's true.
And made that big splash on MTV. You know.
Do I need to show everyone how fine I am? That's what Paul Stanley was saying.
He definitely went in that direction. You know,
When
the visible thong strap and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
when they went on MTV and an unmasked Gene Simmons introduced an unmasked kiss to everybody.
What's that guy's name?
I forget, but could he look any more like Gene Simmons?
That's funny. What's that dude's name who did the unmasked?
I can't remember. Johnson was his last
Jesse
No.
J.J. Johnson or something.
Maybe so. That might be it.
The
same-
one VJ of color.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same hair as Gene.
Looked
Yeah.
at-
Similar skin tone.
Let's face it, it could have been Gene.
Yeah.
Gene,
I gotcha.
Gene introduced Gene that night.
Gene did a little switcheroo, tricked everyone. Oh, Gene.
Yeah, I think it was J.J. Johnson.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
My vote's in.
Mine is also in.
Mine is also in.
With that, and it makes when I lay down my vote, I'm gonna lay down it's gonna make a slapping sound with the plastic still on the cheese. Throw it just right, like a belly flop.
That's good. All right. How do you want to do it? The same order? Nick, Chris, Andy?
Sure.
Okay, we'll do that.
I'm just gonna cut right to it. I'm gonna give it a rock.
Roll.
Boner!
It's a rock and roll boner.
Are you kidding me? Who do you think you are? I am. Get it right.
Oh, yeah. I don't think there was much doubt there. Was there?
No, there couldn't be.
No. This song not getting boner status would have just been flat out wrong. Just on principle.
It would have been.
How many boners this video gave to
Just
young boys of
Just-
my age.
we're just
at that
giving
time.
back.
Yes. It's the least we can do after all they've given us. The boners that were so freely given to us, we're freely giving back
Just returning the boner.
to the guys in the
just
band.
giving
yes.
back to the boner community.
Yes, we are. Perpetuating the boner community.
That's good. I'm going to have to make a new shirt.
I'm gonna lay a craft single across my boner tonight, and in tribute to this whole episode.
Wrapped or unwrapped?
Always wrapped.
Yeah.
The wrapper has to stay on.
Yeah.
That way you can use it later.
Yes,
That's true. You don't want to
exactly.
waste it. That's true. I guess that's kind of a nice thing if you kick someone's ass and give them a piece of cheese to use later when they wake up.
Exactly.
It's nice.
Put it on their bruises.
Yeah, whatever.
Nice cold piece of cheese.
A snack as you're gathering your things fell out of your pockets. Whatever. Find
the
your
cough
keys.
drops
Yeah.
and the keys and the craft singles because you got your ass kicked last night.
So you find your car in the parking lot. Eat a piece of cheese on the way. All right. If you disagree with us, we're sorry.
We're not sorry at all.
Get out.
Just the fucking way it is.
Get out if you disagree. There's
I don't
nothing to disagree about. Like Andy said, this might be the biggest slam dunk of
a decade.
The entire run of the show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it's unassailable.
Yeah. All right.
Simple as that.
Let's take a quick commercial break. And we'll be right back after a word from the Kraft Company. I hope.
Kraft Pepper Jack singles.
I don't give yards of questions. Motherfucker, I give them.
Sing away.
Yes.
Don't they make white Swiss singles too?
Oh yeah,
I think they've got a variety.
Yeah, the sharp cheddar. The Velveeta ones are good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little. There's a use for them, but it's like they're just designed to melt.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about that doesn't sit well with me.
You like
I
it
don't
to
know
hold
why
its
that is.
form a bit more.
It's just I'm more of a purist with my singles, I guess.
All right.
Plus, if you're throwing it on the corpse of the person whose ass you just kicked, you don't want to melt too soon.
Especially in this weather.
Yeah, exactly. And as we know, when the temperatures go up, that's when, fuses are short and there's a lot more violence. So,
yeah. Maybe they can come up with a blackjack flavor. Blackjack single.
Like Pepper Jack or Monterey Jack.
Yep.
Blackjack.
Thank you.
I like it.
Slug someone in the head with your blackjack. All right.
That'd be more like the loaf-sized liquid gold kind of a thing.
Yeah.
That'd be more your blackjack.
Had someone with one of those in a sock.
You could nail someone with one of those, and it would take effect.
It would. Cheese log. All right, this week's Yardo questions. I don't know what's going on here. I'm not pre-screening these.
Oh, wow.
But this week's Yardo questions comes to us from somebody named Zucchini Spread.
All right.
Whatever that is, zucchini spread. We're going with it.
It doesn't sound bad.
It kind of goes along with what we're talking about,
Yeah. Sure.
Good for sandwiches.
So,
Yeah.
before the first
Throw
question.
a Kraft single and some zucchini spread on the actual bread. You got the makings of a nice sandwich there.
Hey, boners. So a couple of years ago, post-Kiss, I have a friend who kept urging me to check out your podcast. I was skeptical, as there are about 20,000 music podcasts out
There are.
But finally did.
That's a lot.
There weren't as that many when we started. We've been around for a while.
Yeah.
But
finally did, and I was hooked right away.
good.
All right.
Now I'm confident enough to send in some Yardos, so here we go. Wow.
Good man.
All right,
Glad to
Zook.
hear it.
Or woman, we don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just going to call them Zook.
Right. Probably a man. Who are we kidding? But
no
you never
woman
know.
would call herself Zucchini
Yeah.
Spread.
Question 1. What do you think about bands who are well past their prime, have to go back to playing clubs, and say how happy they are to go back to playing quote-unquote intimate shows? I think they're full of crap. Would you guys rather play clubs or arenas/stadiums? Take into consideration the money take. So what do you think of that when you hear that?
Basically the question is...
What do you think about bands
Do you
doing
think they're
that?
full of shit when
Yeah.
they say they
Okay.
like the intimacy of the club show and they're happy to do it?
they might just be making lemonade at that point, you know. But it's probably, I think in a lot of cases, I don't think it's insincere, but I think they're making the most of whatever their situation is. And of course, you got to do press, and you're not going to say, yeah,
right,
we're really in a downswing right now. How many bands say that?
Real nosedive happening. You guys are in the midst of our lowest point right now.
Come see us.
I think there's some validity, and not that I ever played in an arena, but I would imagine that there's some validity to the fact that there is less of an intimacy thing. I mean, it's not, people aren't right up in your face. You know, there's the exchange of energy is probably not as immediate, but by the same token, like he said at the end, take into account the money, which it costs a lot of money to put on an arena show. So in terms of how much money you're actually making, you know, there was this, did you guys read those, interview with Gene, who said he makes a lot more money with his solo band?
I did see that quote.
Yeah. I'm sure he's exaggerating to a certain extent, but I think the premise of it is valid. It takes a lot of money to put a show on, like a full-on Kiss show, versus what he does with the Gene Simmons band. So in terms of like what he actually pockets and takes home, maybe from a percentage point, is more. I think the actual quantity has got to be more playing with Kiss. Otherwise, he flat out wouldn't do it. You know, and then maybe
he would have said, "To hell with this."
Right.
Doing this Gene Simmons band.
Exactly.
And him as an example, I would say that when we saw him do the solo tour, he really did seem to take advantage of the setting.
Yeah.
Inviting people on stage, and just, it was very loose.
But maybe that's a little different because that was voluntary, and he knew he was going back. You know, it wasn't like.
But he probably figured,
no, this is dwindling.
I mean, he probably figured it's going to be the same. Well, I mean, he's playing festivals, so he's going to have huge crowds. But I'm assuming, I don't know where he's playing. Are tour dates out for his band?
I haven't noticed.
Because I'm just curious where, like in Chicago, is it going to be the same place? You know?
Yeah.
Was it the Riv?
Park West.
Or Park West. Sorry.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But I mean, he. So I could see, like, he's played every stadium in the world.
Yeah.
And I could see him, the way that he does kind of seem to keep a loose, fun kind of show with these smaller shows. I could see him being sincere in saying that. I mean, maybe he doesn't maybe prefer it, who knows, but I could see him saying, like, yeah, it's fun to do.
Yeah.
Because I think he's an exceptional case, of course. Not very many people.
I think what he's getting at is that the overhead is a lot lower than it is with Kiss to transport that show around and put it on, and et cetera, et cetera. But I think if you've ever gotten to the arena level and then you have to take several steps back, I think it would be pretty hard to believe someone who, if they were actually trying to get you to, or convince you that they were happier playing the smaller venues, because I just think if for nothing else, from a mass adulation standpoint, you want to be playing for as many people as possible.
Yeah. Playing in a huge arena or outdoor festival thing would be pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah. Gotta be.
I mean, I'm sure there are guys who have done it enough times where it's like, yeah, it's great, but, well, like Steve Harris, he plays to like 12 people with British Lions, right? So, and he seems to be doing that as much as he can. So there must be some people out there who really do dig that dynamic of playing the small.
Right, but like Andy said, Steve Harris has Iron Maiden in his back pocket. He can go, he can play with British Lion to 12 people, knowing in the back of his mind that in the next month or two he's going to be playing for 100,000 people down in Brazil. So
that is true.
If he didn't have that as a backup, he'd be probably a little more bummed out than he normally would.
That could be.
Question 2. What's the funniest thing you've ever done? Or thing you regret the most? It's probably not number one to me, but a year or two ago, a friend recommended I buy Bitcoin at 19K a share. It's up to 67K. I'm an idiot. There you go.
Yeah, well.
19 grand a share?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's,
I didn't know it was that.
I'd be a little hesitant myself.
Well, you don't have to actually buy it, though. You could just buy a percentage of a share. You could put $1 into it.
Right, but I didn't know that's how much a share costs.
Yeah. Shit's wild.
Still going on, huh?
I don't know.
I thought that had came and went, but I haven't been paying attention.
I don't know.
Yeah, right now it's right about 65.
Had no idea, but I'm not in the business. At my age, I'm not in the business of flushing my money down the toilet, even if there could be a considerable upside. Those days are over for me. So,
well, I'm glad I sold all of mine when I was at its low. Because it was never coming back.
Yeah, well,
it did.
I have no idea what the funniest thing I ever did was.
I think the hardest I've ever laughed, well, twice in the same environment. One was, I remember I told you, and I didn't do this, so I wish I did, but I think I talked about it on the show before, but when I was working at that PR firm over by the Hard Rock in Chicago, and that guy took that blue marker and took a Hinckley and Schmidt bottled water trucker hat. It blocked out enough of the lettering on the front of it so it said icky shit butt water. The second hardest I've laughed in my life, and it was pretty hard. The hardest was one of the things that me and a bunch of these other idiots who worked at the Hard Rock, and we got hired to do this other stuff for this PR company by a guy who used to come into the Hard Rock all the time, was we had to clean all this junk out of their storage facility or the basement. It was like floor to ceiling junk, like all this old promo stuff and just random items. And one of them was like this huge, probably 4-foot-long porcelain sink that was probably, obviously was in a bathroom at some point, but one of those huge old porcelain sinks from the 50s. The second we saw it, for some reason, we decided to take it to the freight elevator all the way to the top of the building and throw it off the top of the building into the alley below like 12 stories and watch it explode on the bottom. Yep. Now that was also the stupidest thing I could have done, because at any point somebody could have just walked down there. It would have been like that movie, what's that movie that Brad Pitt and stuff where they rolled the hot dog cart down the subway stairs and killed somebody and went to this juvenile delinquent stuff and were abused and stuff. Can't remember it, but at any point somebody could have walked underneath that, driven underneath it, would have been fucking killed, because this sink weighed at least 200 pounds. I mean, it took two of us to fling it off of the top of the roof. But we did it and watched it fall 12 stories to the concrete below and just explode on the fucking bottom of in the alley below. I literally almost suffocated. I was laughing so hard. That's the hardest I've laughed in my life, so that must be the funniest thing I've ever done. But it could have very easily gone seriously south the other way. We could have killed somebody. Oh, and the movie is Sleepers.
Okay.
Did you ever see that movie?
I've heard of it, but
pretty good movie. But it was basically a bunch of clown kids messing around, and they killed somebody accidentally, got sent away to this, juvenile facility where they were horrifically abused, and then the rest of the movie is how they get their revenge on their abusers. But hardest I've laughed in my life. I almost suffocated. I was laughing so hard at that.
Nick?
I haven't really done many funny things, probably.
Well, how about something you regret then?
I guess maybe this was funny and regrettable. A friend of ours, we had like maybe a couple of our buddies over hanging out in our basement many years ago.
Oh.
A buddy of ours at the time was on a first date with a girl.
Oh no. Oh, I know it.
And for whatever reason, she wanted them to come over to our house.
Yeah.
And hang out. And I was successfully goaded into...
Were you goaded? That wasn't your idea? Okay.
No, it was Aaron.
Okay.
Aaron was one of them. I think it was John was the other one.
Yeah, that sounds,
I don't know.
Sounds like those guys would be putting you up to
They
it.
successfully... And it was fairly innocent.
Yeah.
It might as well have been from a sitcom in the 50s.
Yeah.
But they said, answer the door with your pants down. And it might as well have been like, you know, big polka dot boxer short kind of, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't.
Yeah, you didn't doing anything perverted.
No, it was just supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
The girl did walk in past me, then exclaimed, and then turned around and left. And then they left, and then I just remember our friend at the time just staring at me, kind of laughing, and just saying my name. Just, Nick. Yeah.
Why'd you do that?
And I guess, yeah. I mean, I remember it was funny.
Yeah.
It was mostly innocent, but I guess maybe regrettable too.
You said she walked past you, then exclaimed, and then walked out.
Yeah.
Do you remember what she said?
It was just an OMG or something like that. It was pretty stock from what I remember, but I do remember her kind of covering her face as she walked back.
Oh, she came to her senses.
She kind of
She's
put
like,
the horse blinders
should
on
I be,
as she walked
Should I be
by.
going down these basement stairs with this man with no pants? No, let me turn around.
So did you have your underwear on?
Oh,
or-
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like boxer briefs, so it wasn't like...
You didn't have your schwants hanging out.
No. It was...
That would have been next level.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been... I don't know. But yeah, I was successfully talked into doing that.
All right.
Hopefully didn't damage anybody permanently. Sure. Chris's story could have damaged someone permanently.
Yeah, you damn
Mine
right.
also could have scarred someone permanently.
Different way.
Some physically, some emotionally.
Question 3. Here's something I don't get. People who were fans of a band and then hate/denounce anything after a certain point. For example, Metallica fans who think everything after Master of Puppets sucks.
We had that last week with Van Halen, but sorry.
Yeah, that's right. Or sometimes Injustice for All. I don't get it at all. I don't get it at all. There's no way someone
I thought
can
they were
listen-
writing lyrics there.
Yeah, I know. There's no way someone can listen to the Black Album and say, that's sad but true, and the Unforgiven suck. I feel like it's just...
The video does.
Yeah, the video for Unforgiven's heinous.
The worst video ever.
Yeah. I feel like it's just some kind of ridiculous pride at that point. But
Yeah.
these people are only hurting and depriving themselves. Or sometimes it just keeps going. Or sometimes
He's spreading the zucchini pretty thin here.
or sometimes it's a case of how they were quote unquote their band and resent when that band has success. What are your thoughts?
It's come up in the past. Like I know I've put out my opinion on Def Leppard when people say, "Oh, the first 2 albums and then there was nothing good."
Right.
Ludicrous statement. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yes. Right.
I basically, I mean, there can be something where something changes in a band and you legitimately don't like it. I think a lot of times it coincides with maybe a time in your life. Like if I don't know, what would be another one? What were the other examples? Metallica?
Metallica.
So if you're already in your 20s and the Black Album comes out and it's all over MTV and the radio, maybe you're like, oh, this is kind of lame.
Oh yeah, maybe
Just
it's like,
that aspect of it.
because you're like, party's over. This thing I had is over, and now it's someone else's.
But if
thing.
you're like 12 or 13 and you discover the Black Album, then you're not going to think that.
Of course not.
No, but I think there's some validity to it because, you know, let's face it, the Black Album absolutely gave rise to bands like Creed, Nickelback, and of that ilk. I think it's legit to be like, those bands were unleashed on the world because of you, and I don't appreciate it. Especially if you're a fan of their, you know, the earlier incarnations of it. I think a lot of people are like, when Cliff Burton died, the band died. I think that's a little extreme, but
yeah, that's a little too far.
But there's no question about the fact that the Black Album and then the two Load albums absolutely paved the way for the Nickelbacks and the Creeds of the world, which, you know, I don't vehemently dislike those bands. I mean, there's stuff that they do that's pretty good, but it's not on the level of what was being put out before Cliff Burton died. It wasn't as revolutionary. It's just more like Meathead hard rock.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's what they wanted to do.
I don't know. I think you can view the Black Album as pretty revolutionary in its own right.
Oh yeah.
I think so. I mean, it's different, but it's not out of left field. It's a natural progression of what they had done before. I mean, is Unforgiven that different from Fade to Black? Except, I mean, it's a similar type song, right? I mean,
I see what you're saying, but it was definitely, you know, it was a full-on move towards, you know, global domination, which again is like, they should have these aspirations, but, you know, especially when it comes to light that, you know, Lars heard Dr. Feelgood and he's like, okay, I want to put an album out that sounds like that, so get me that producer. Mm-hmm. When in their early days they were like, they would show up to hair metal shows and turn their backs to the band and put their fingers up. It's like, we don't have anything to do with these fucking pansies with the, you know, androgynous look and the softball music, and then they crossed over to the dark side and openly admitted it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I get why there was a backlash, but at the same time, the backlash was not enough to keep them from becoming the biggest band on the planet, which they continue to be to this day. So,
but do you think the backlash is somewhat rooted in the success?
I think there's always that part of it. Sure.
So in that case, shouldn't a lot more people not like Dickinson era Maiden?
Maybe they weren't big enough yet with the first two, or the.
No, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, they got Dickinson.
There's a small faction of people out there who are like, you know, they think it went in the wrong direction.
Yeah, but I think it's
but
also
not as
what
much
you
as
said.
the Metallica situation.
But maybe Metallica had more fans because they had a longer.
I don't know.
I'm just saying that I get it in that case, and you know, in terms of me thinking of, if I can come up with an example from my own world, because I was never really into Metallica, either any incarnation of it. I mean, obviously huge respect for them, but it was never a band that I was super into.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you could go back to the Beatles, and I mean, they were the teeny bopper guys, and then they went all psychedelic in the mid '60s, and it's like two different approaches to music, two different sounds, and I could see some of the fans of their, you know, British Invasion era not digging what they put out from Rubber Soul on.
Well, I do remember seeing in a, I don't know if it was, whatever, but it's some Beatles documentary. I do remember seeing where they were interviewing people, like teenagers at the time when Strawberry Fields came out, and they were like, "Yeah, I don't know, like they lost me. I don't know what's going on here. This is weird." Yeah, I mean I think it's cool to see a band like develop and grow a bit, but at the same time, some bands you don't really. In retrospect, you don't want them to.
Yeah.
And some bands don't, and that ends up being the perfect formula, like your Motorheads and your AC/DCs.
Yeah, they just stayed what they were.
Yeah, I mean, Motorhead, I guess, a little bit became more of like a metal-sounding, polished metal band because of the drummer that they ended up getting. But aside from that, it worked for them.
Yeah.
But, a lot of bands die when they don't change.
Well, I mean, how about the uproar when Kiss did a disco album, which they didn't, but they had elements of that on Dynasty. Yeah. People freaked out over it. So it happens, and I get it, but
Yeah. And can I just say again, as I said during the Kiss run of this podcast, I Was Made for Lovin' You's not the disco song on that album. No. Dirty Livin' is the disco song on that album.
Yeah.
And they're both excellent.
There you go. I was going to say, it doesn't apply to me. I wasn't in the right age group or whatever, but I could see if you were a hardcore Metallica fan that it would become, I'm just going to stereotype, that it would become like more to you than music you like. Like, it would be who you identify as, and maybe you're like somewhat disenfranchised as a person or whatever. Like, you're not a cool kid in school or whatever. You're not. I'm just assuming, and you're like, all right, I'm that. I love this. I want to be part of that. And then, like, your whole life is okay. And then they change, and the people you hate now like the band that you love. So that I could see why that would
see that.
That would hurt you.
I could see that at the time, but I think in retrospect,
sure.
Once that's kind of over and done with, and you're not in that situation anymore, you can go back and be like, all right,
totally.
Let me Hungry Like the Wolf. Like, when I was a kid, I probably wouldn't have wanted to listen to this.
Yeah.
I wanted stuff that was like more obviously heavy music.
Right.
But you can years later go back and be like, wow, this is awesome.
Yep. Sure.
Yeah. And you don't have any of the social pressures to worry about.
Right. There's that bullshit going on.
Yeah.
But and it's something we've talked about a lot on the show. It's like a lot of bands take flack because of their fan base.
Yeah.
But just think, Chris, if the Black Album hadn't come out, you would not be enjoying these Creed Applebee's memes in 2024.
That's true. Yeah, exactly.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
It's all good. It's just, but I think what he's talking about, to bring it back around to the third question, is it's absolutely goes on all the time, and there's some validity to it.
Yeah.
I think Andy hit it closest on the head with what he just talked about. It's like, you feel like it's the classic, we sold out, which is stupid. I mean, why wouldn't anybody want to succeed on a mass scale? I mean, if you don't want to do that, just stay in the practice room. Don't come out and perform in public.
Yeah. All right, and to sign off, Zucchini Spread says, hope these questions were okay. They were very good. Thank you. Sorry I was teasing you for how long the last one was. It was fine. I'm joking. Love the show, and you guys seem like you're all really cool people. Thank you.
Thank you, Zook.
Thanks for giving me something to look forward to every week. Well, that's very nice.
Thank you.
I'm happy to hear that.
It is nice to hear that.
Thank you. And if you want to submit a Yardo questions, go to potofthunder.com. Click that widget. Send not one, not two, but 3 questions our way.
Just like Zucchini did.
Yes, sir.
See, I went with the song that I saw first thing. You went with the yard of questions that you saw first thing.
That's the way we're doing it.
We are 2 for 2.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, next week.
We don't know yet.
But a big one.
Something will be.
There'll be a title on the line.
of a
That's
title
right.
on the line. I'm not sure.
We got work to do.
I'm not sure what song we're getting, where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be Andy's pick, so.
Oh my.
Unless you guys.
I'm not sure what Andy's
book
objective
the,
is though for 4th of July week.
That's true.
Oh, that's right. That's
Well, I guess we'll let Andy. I'm interested in that. Let Andy bring something that fits the tradition.
Oh no.
Or
Plus,
not.
he's the current title holder, so
That's
he
true.
should have that privilege.
So Andy can go off the list or off the list.
Great. Pressure for me.
It's all up to
Because
you.
what was it? It was Proud to Be, or whatever. God Bless the USA.
And it was the Keel song.
Was that last year?
Yeah,
what was it
last
called?
year. 4th of July.
4th of July.
Yeah.
Is he on the show this week? Next week?
We can try to get him if you want.
I love this idea that we think we can get him. I have it on good authority that
I'm
if
told.
we really want Keel, we can get him.
I'm told.
And I like that it never goes farther than that.
Which is probably for the best for everyone involved.
I'm told. We just say the word.
Yep.
And we got Ron Keel.
Yep.
Just saying. You have a week to let. You have a little less than a week if you want to get that going to let me know if you want Ron Keel.
Okay. I'll let you know. And one last note. I think I sent this to you guys, but did you see that video of that bull prancing around a rodeo with God Bless the USA?
Yes.
And then it just decided to jump out of the
it went
pit
absolutely
and go
crazy.
crazy and run people down. Oh my
See it?
God,
Oh,
dude.
it's everywhere.
I'll send it to you as soon as we're done. But
it's
I need to see that.
It's frightening.
like, I typically don't enjoy any videos of people getting injured, but the fact that it's prancing around to God Bless the USA and then it just loses its mind is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, it can't even take this song.
If it stopped there,
Yeah.
then it wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah, but even the bull hated the song. It's like, I'm leaving.
It's an about.
I'm leaving.
Yeah. I don't stand for this. Jump
I heard
right
the
up.
Pot of Thunder episode last year. Can't believe they're doing this.
Those guys really ruined the song for me.
Or 2 years ago,
Yeah.
whatever that was.
All right. We'll be back next week. Thank you.
French fried potatoes, garlic mashed potatoes, loaded baked potato, or the waffle fries, or the rice.